Hello, I'm Rhonda Rowland. Welcome to Each Voice Counts. Today we'll be discussing results from a new global survey of nearly 1,300 women living with advanced breast cancer in 12 countries that brings to light the realities of living with this disease. The survey results found that 40% of women across the globe do feel isolated from the non-advanced breast cancer community. So can you relate to that finding?
I wasn't even aware if there were any kind of support groups available for someone like myself. There was no walk to go on and to parade about, waving my pink flag. I didn't feel comfortable in any of those environments.
People were so familiar with early stage breast cancer, they assumed that that's what my experience would be, that there would be a beginning to my treatment, a middle, and an end. People don't understand with metastatic breast cancer, it's just middle, middle, middle. Treatment does not end. You're on treatment for life.
The support programs, a lot of them focus on how to live your life after cancer, and there's not going to be an after cancer for me. I need to learn how to live my life with cancer and how to incorporate those ups and downs.
When I was first diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, I heard a story of someone being asked to leave a support group because she had metastatic breast cancer, and this was an early stage group. And I thought, oh, she's making that up, she's exaggerating. And then I heard essentially the same story from somebody else. And I thought, well, I can't sit by and listen to this.
So the survey did find that nearly half the women find it hard to find that information.
It is hard to find information about it. It takes savviness and the ability to ask questions and to look online. But there is no public information to say available. We don't hear about it. It's not on the news. The news focuses on women with, and men occasionally, with early stage breast cancer. It's not a pretty disease. Not to say any breast cancer is pretty, but my story is not a survivor story. The public likes to hear good stories. I don't blame them. So would I. It's not a pretty story. It's not a pink story. It's a gritty story.
Why do you think there's been a lack of awareness?
I think part of it is because it's a grim subject. Advanced cancer leads to death. There is no cure, and that's not something that people want to talk about. It's not something that makes a feel-good story in the news.
It is scary for somebody with early stage breast cancer to contemplate, and this would be somebody that in their mind has successfully completed their treatment. They don't want to think about that this might happen to them.
Did you see a difference in how friends and family reacted initially when you were first diagnosed and then later when you were diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer?
In my family's case, my mom had died of metastatic breast cancer in 1983 when I was 17, and that was our family's experience. So I know immediately they jumped ahead to think that my experience would be exactly what had happened to our mom.
I did, and in all honesty, I can't say I fault anyone. I think it's a natural. It happens naturally that when you're diagnosed early stage or even metastatic disease, in the beginning there's a flurry of activity. People want to know information, they want to offer help and support, and they do so. But then, like with almost everything, your adrenaline can't stay that high throughout the course of the 4 years that I've lived with this disease.
So as I finished up with my chemo and went on to a different treatment that didn't have visible side effects, a lot of people assumed that because I wasn't on chemo that I was done with treatment. I want to make sure that people realize that it's still a big part of my life. It's still a struggle. I have side effects with the medications that I'm on now, and I will continue to have those side effects. And it's nice to know that, to get that verbal recognition every once in a while, that you do still have people fighting for you, supporting you, that are there for you.
So what advice would you give to other people who are family or friends of women with advanced breast cancer? What could you tell them as far as how they can support their loved one?
I would say pace yourself. Don't try to master all the material at once. Talk to your doctor, make lists of questions, ask anything you want. Try to find out the information and to remember that you're not a statistic. You are an individual and your disease will follow its own course. Know that there are women like myself living productive, content lives while battling this disease.
There's no right or wrong way to deal with metastatic breast cancer. There's only the best way, which is what is right for you specifically.
Really start looking at what's important, what really matters. Is it friends, is it faith, is it family? What can you do to really make the most of that, and to let go of the things that maybe don't matter, or the things that have been bothering you? So I would say just take the moment and live, and just really, really live your life.
On behalf of all those touched by advanced breast cancer, thank you for sharing your stories and thoughts on these fascinating results. And be sure to visit us at advancedbreastcancercommunity.org to learn more about the Count Us, Know Us, Join Us global survey.